Have you ever counted backward from 10 before surgery, and then woken up hours later with the whole thing already over, like no time passed at all? That wasn't sleep. It was something else. Something doctors do to thousands of people every single day, and something they still can't fully explain. Subscribe right now, because after this, you're never going to look at an operating room the same way again. Anesthesia literally means loss of sensation. And it's everywhere. In the US alone, more than 60,000 people get put under every single day. That's an entire city, knocking itself out, on purpose, every morning, and waking back up like nothing ever happened. But that's recent. For centuries, the only way to survive a surgery was alcohol, opium, or mandrake root. Ancient texts from Egypt, Asia, and the Middle East already mention it. There was no real shutdown. There was controlled suffering, and a patient held down by several people while the cutting happened. That changed in 1846. In a dentist's office in Boston, a man named William Morton used a gas, sulfuric ether, to knock out a patient who needed a tumor removed from his neck. It worked. And from that day on, surgery stopped being a conscious nightmare. Decades later came nitrous oxide, and eventually injectable anesthetics that went straight into the bloodstream. Today, anesthesia comes in 3 levels. Local, which numbs a small area, like at the dentist before a filling. Regional, stronger, which blocks off an entire region, like a whole arm or the lower half of your body during a C-section. And general, which shuts your entire body down. Your mind, your memory, even your reflexes. But I promise you, there's something hidden in this that almost nobody ever told you about. The first layer of this story is electrical. Your nerve cells talk to each other using electrical signals, opening tiny gates that let charged particles in and out. That's how pain travels to your brain. Local and regional anesthesia simply block that gate. They shut the door on those particles. It's an electrical barricade, literally built inside your own body. General anesthesia goes deeper. It enters through your vein, or through your lungs with a mask, and travels straight to your brain. Once there, it impersonates a messenger your brain already trusts, a neurotransmitter. Except it's an imposter. A negative imposter, way stronger than the real thing, and it floods the cell with negative charge. The cell fights back, opens more gates to compensate, and the result is a constant flicker. On, off. On, off. Less on every time. Less light every time. Never fully dark. Because total darkness already has a name. It's called death. And while that's happening cell by cell, your entire brain changes behavior. Normally, your brain regions are constantly talking to each other, in this messy, chaotic conversation, and that chaos is exactly what keeps you awake and aware of the world. Under general anesthesia, that conversation goes silent. The regions stop talking to each other. Your brain goes quiet. Too quiet. Too isolated. Like every part of your mind just got locked in its own room. That's the first layer. The second one is even more unsettling, because it changes the entire question. When anesthesia was invented back in 1846, doctors had exactly one test to know if you were unconscious. They'd give you a command. If you didn't respond, you were considered out cold. Simple as that. Except that test is broken. During sleep paralysis, for example, you're fully conscious, you feel everything, but you can't move or respond. Not responding isn't the same thing as not being aware. And there's a drug that exposes this exact problem. Ketamine. Under ketamine, you're still conscious. You just stop caring about reacting. It's not that you can't move. It's that you simply don't want to. Someone could be operating on you right now, and you feel it, you're there, you register it. You just don't respond. And then you forget. Propofol, the most common one today, looks different on the surface. At higher doses, it really does switch off consciousness. But at lower doses, it does something else entirely. It wipes your memory immediately after every single instruction. The doctor asks you to squeeze his hand, you squeeze it, and 1 second later you've already forgotten you did it. Later, you'll swear on your life you were out cold the whole time. And there's an experiment that proves it. Doctors place a tourniquet on the patient's arm before the muscle relaxant reaches it. The rest of the body goes limp, but that one hand stays free. When doctors ask yes or no questions, that hand answers. Some patients have held entire conversations just by moving their fingers. And afterward, every single one of them denied ever being awake. In other words, not remembering something doesn't prove you weren't there for it. That's exactly what happened to Donna Penner, a 45-year-old mother from Canada. She fasted for 6 hours, walked calmly into the operating room, and received the full cocktail. Sedatives, anesthetics, muscle relaxants. Her anesthesiologist held her hand until she went under. But minutes before the first incision, Donna woke up. Fully conscious. Fully paralyzed. She couldn't move a finger, couldn't scream, couldn't alert a single person in that room. She felt every cut, every movement inside her own abdomen, for hours. Quote, "I thought this is how I'm going to die, right here on this table, and my family will never know what my last hours were like, because nobody in this room even knows what's happening to me." Unquote. She survived. But she carried post-traumatic stress disorder for years afterward. She had panic attacks inside locked cars, just from the feeling of not being able to get out. To this day, she can't wear anything tight around her neck. This isn't common. But it's not some rare freak accident either. It's estimated that 1 in every 1,000 patients wakes up, to some degree, during general anesthesia. Recent studies suggest that number could actually be higher. Picture a line of 1,000 people waiting for surgery today. Statistically, one of them is probably going to feel something the doctors never catch. And even when everything goes according to plan, your body still pays a price afterward. It's completely normal to wake up confused, nauseous, with a sore throat from the breathing tube, or with slurred speech for a few hours. Most of that fades on its own within a few days. But in rare cases, more serious consequences show up, like nerve damage, a severe allergic reaction, or the exact kind of intraoperative awareness Donna went through. Dr. Emery Brown, an anesthesiologist at Harvard, sums up what general anesthesia really is. Quote, "It's a reversible coma, but it's still a coma." Unquote. And brain scans back that up. During anesthesia, brain activity drops to levels that resemble brain death. This isn't sleep. It's a shadow of what we call death, with the door back still cracked open. There's an interesting exception to all this. Researchers like Dr. Anthony Hudetz at the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine are trying to build a more precise kind of anesthesia, one that targets only consciousness, without dragging your heart rate, blood pressure, and breathing down with it. Right now, the same drug that erases your mind also slows down your entire body, from your heart to your lungs. And that's especially dangerous for the people who need surgery the most, patients who are already fragile, and who often can't afford to have their entire body slowed down just to shut off their mind. So maybe the real question isn't how anesthesia erases you. Maybe the real question is what it actually means to be conscious in the first place. Because science still can't fully answer that, even with 0 drugs in your system. Like this video, and subscribe to the channel, because there's a lot of ordinary stuff in your daily life hiding mechanisms exactly like this one, just waiting to be found. And next time you count backward from 10 before going under, remember this. You're not going to sleep. You're going to disappear for a while, into a place even science hasn't fully figured out yet.